Every month, Nomsa counted down the days until payday. Not because she wanted to buy something nice, but because everyone else was waiting for her salary too. Before she even stepped into work, her phone had already received 6 WhatsApp messages. Please send me something. We've run out of electricity. The school needs money. Can you help just this once? She earned 12,000 Rand a month. She worked hard. She never wasted money. Yet somehow, she still ended every month feeling like she had failed everyone, including herself. What nobody saw was the panic she felt every time she opened her banking app, because being the strong one was slowly breaking her.
Nomsa was 31 years old. She worked as a receptionist at a medical practice in Midrand. Every weekday, she woke up before 5 a.m. She took 2 taxis to work. She greeted every patient with a smile. She answered phones, booked appointments, solved problems. To everyone around her, Nomsa seemed calm, responsible, reliable. But behind that smile, she carried a heavy burden. Nomsa was the only person in her immediate family with a stable income. Her younger brother had been unemployed for nearly 2 years. Her mother survived on occasional cleaning jobs. Her 2 younger siblings were still in school. Whenever something went wrong, everyone called Nomsa. When there wasn't enough food, Nomsa. When electricity ran out, Nomsa. When school shoes were needed, Nomsa. When transport money was short, Nomsa. She loved her family deeply. Helping them never felt like a choice. It felt like her responsibility. Growing up, her mother always reminded her, when God blesses one child, the whole family eats. Nomsa believed those words with all her heart. But lately, she had started wondering something she felt guilty even thinking. Who was taking care of her? Salary received, 12,000 Rand. For a brief moment, she smiled. Then, reality arrived. Let's look at where Nomsa's money went each month. Monthly budget. Salary, 12,000 Rand. Less tax and deductions already reflected in take-home pay. Now, the expenses began. Rent for her small bachelor flat near work, 3,500 Rand. Taxi transport, 1,600 Rand. Groceries, 1,800 Rand. Electricity and water, 700 Rand. Cell phone and data, 450 Rand. Funeral policy, 350 Rand. Clothing account payment, 450 Rand. Hair and personal care, 400 Rand. At this point, Nomsa had already spent 9,250 Rand, leaving 2,750 Rand. But that money wasn't really hers. Every month, she sent money home. Support for her mother, 1,200 Rand. School expenses for siblings, 700 Rand. Electricity for the family home, 500 Rand. Money for her unemployed brother's transport, 300 Rand. Total family support, 2,700 Rand. Money left, 50 Rand. Just 50 Rand for the rest of the month. No emergency savings, no retirement savings, no medical emergency fund, no room for unexpected expenses. If she caught the flu, she struggled. If her shoes broke, she used her credit account. If the taxi fare increased, she borrowed money. One unexpected expense could throw her entire month into chaos. And the hardest part wasn't the numbers. It was the constant anxiety they created. Every notification on her phone made her heart race. She stopped checking her bank balance because seeing it made her feel physically sick. She couldn't sleep during the last week before payday. She worried about money while brushing her teeth, while traveling to work, even while trying to enjoy Sunday lunch with her family. Financial stress had become a constant companion.
Helping her family wasn't the problem. The problem was that there were no boundaries. Every request felt urgent. Every crisis felt like hers to solve. If her brother needed airtime for job hunting, she paid. If her mother wanted groceries, she paid. If a cousin needed help with transport, she paid. Sometimes she even skipped buying groceries for herself because someone else needed the money more. Slowly, Nomsa began relying on credit. Not for luxury handbags, not for expensive holidays, not for designer clothes. She used credit to survive, to buy groceries before payday, to replace work shoes, to pay for medication. The debt wasn't growing because she was irresponsible. It was growing because she was carrying more than one household on one salary. And with every swipe of her store card, the guilt grew heavier. She worried that saying no would make her seem selfish. She feared disappointing the people she loved. At work, she smiled. At home, she cried quietly at night. Sometimes she lay awake asking herself, why am I working so hard if I'm always broke? She loved her family, but she was beginning to resent the pressure. That made her feel ashamed. Many people call this black tax. For many South Africans, it isn't just about sending money home. It's about carrying expectations that grow every time your income grows. It's about wanting to help, while also trying to build a future for yourself. And that's an incredibly difficult balance. If Nomsa's story sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You are not alone. Many people carry responsibilities that others never see. Supporting your family is something to be proud of. It speaks to your love, your generosity, and your commitment. But here's something we don't talk about enough. If helping others leaves you constantly in debt, unable to save, unable to handle emergencies, and overwhelmed with anxiety, then the way you're helping may not be sustainable. Money isn't just about paying bills. It's also connected to your peace of mind, your sleep, your relationships, your confidence. Many people make this mistake because nobody ever taught them how to balance generosity with financial stability. Helping your family doesn't have to mean sacrificing your own future. Setting financial boundaries doesn't mean you love your family any less. It means you're creating a way to keep helping for years to come, instead of burning yourself out. Think of it like the safety demonstration on an aeroplane. You're told to put on your own oxygen mask before helping someone else. Not because you're selfish, because if you can't breathe, you can't help anyone. The same principle applies to your finances. Taking care of yourself isn't abandoning your family. It's making sure you remain strong enough to support them in a healthy, sustainable way. Monica took out a notebook and began building a realistic plan. Not a perfect one, a practical one. The first step was to give every rand a purpose before payday arrived. Next, she encouraged Nomsa to have an honest conversation with her family. Instead of waiting for requests throughout the month, she decided on one fixed amount she could contribute. Let's imagine that amount was 2,000 rand instead of 2,700. She explained to her family, I want to keep helping, but I also need to build a future so I can continue supporting us in the long term. That one conversation wasn't easy, but it was honest. The 700 rand difference each month wasn't for shopping or entertainment. It had a purpose.
Emergency savings, 500 Rand. Retirement or long-term investment, 200 Rand. By saving 500 Rand every month, Nomsa could build an emergency fund of 6,000 Rand in 1 year. Would 6,000 Rand solve every problem? No, but it could help cover a medical bill, replace a broken appliance, or get through an unexpected setback without turning to credit. That small cushion could also reduce the constant fear of the unknown. Monica also encouraged Nomsa to review every expense every 3 months. Sometimes transport costs change. Sometimes insurance premiums increase. A budget isn't something you create once and forget. It's a living plan that should change as your life changes. And remember, everyone's financial situation is different. These numbers are just an example to show how planning and boundaries can make a difference. Consider what works best for your own circumstances.
6 months later, Nomsa wasn't rich. She wasn't debt-free. But something had changed. She had stopped using her clothing account for groceries. Her emergency savings had grown steadily. She checked her banking app without feeling panic. She slept better. Her conversations with her family became more open. Sometimes they were disappointed when she couldn't give more, but over time, they began to understand that she also had bills, goals, and a future to protect. For the first time in years, Nomsa felt hopeful. Not because she had more money, but because she finally had a plan. She realized that being the strong one didn't mean carrying every burden alone. Sometimes strength means having the courage to say, I want to help, but I also need to take care of my own future. That wasn't selfish. It was wisdom. If you saw yourself in Nomsa's story today, I hope you remember this. Supporting your family is a beautiful act of love, but love should not come at the cost of your own financial well-being. Creating boundaries doesn't mean closing your heart. It means making your support sustainable. Start with one conversation, one budget, one small saving habit, one step at a time. Remember, financial freedom doesn't happen overnight. It starts with one small decision, one small habit, and one step at a time. And remember, your money struggles do not define who you are. Every positive financial choice you make is a step towards more confidence, less stress, and greater peace.
If this story spoke to you, let us know in the comments. Have you ever felt the pressure of being your family's provider? What has helped you manage that responsibility? Your story might encourage someone else who feels alone. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. I'm Monica. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Take care until then.